So, welcome, Pariaga Kamenun. I think we're very pleased to be back with Nairi tonight. We might not let her go back to Yerevan. But thank you very much for coming. Nairi, as some of you were there last night, and you may have read that she has been a curator and a researcher, and also she works in education at the Gomidas Museum Institute in Yerevan. As recently, she has left, although you're working there sometimes, but she works at a variety of places, including the Smithsonian Institute in Washington and elsewhere around the world. And she's received awards for her work in lullaby workshops. So we're very honored to be having an award-winning artist working with us tonight. And as I said last night, Nairi and her sister Lucine and Arame are all witness to this amazing educational experiment that took place very successfully, I have to say, in Paris and still continues today, called Lullaby, where people learn by having fun, basically, and learn by doing. I think, which is every school doing whatever they're doing should be doing with these methods. So now we're going to take part in this. And Nairi, I'm going to turn over to you to...
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I've been researching Armenian folk lullabies for a couple of years now. I was born in Paris and started my music education, let's say, in Paris, and researched a lot the Armenian folk lullaby heritage. And then when I moved to Armenia, I started doing singing workshops, collective singing workshops like this. First of all, digging into our heritage and looking through books and scores to discover new melodies and new songs that haven't been sung or recorded. And then I started doing those singing workshops, and it's very important. I mean, lullabies are universal, types of songs that have been sung since, the beginning of humanity, and it's a powerful tool not only to make the ties and the bonds very strong between parents and kids, but also in terms of language acquisition and music education. Why language acquisition? Because you will see that, when we sing, the lyrics are very simple and very short and repetitive. It's always either two syllables or more, or one. So for language acquisition, it's very important as well to sing lullabies. I don't know where you are in your stage of life, but if kids are around, it's very important to sing, and whatever music it is. Now, the genre of lullabies was formed, but the most important thing is to hear music and to listen and share musical moments with your children. Once I started researching on Armenian lullabies, I discovered that there are a couple of, let's say, categories. So there are the folk lullabies, which have been sung orally from generation to generation and in different regions, and we discovered that there are different variants of a same source lullaby, because different ethnographers collected those pieces from different informants. And then there are, let's say, more compositional kind of types of lullabies, where the text has been written by someone, so there's an author. Sometimes those texts, which had an author, then spread, and it became part of the folklore, because then everyone started, creating their own improvised kind of music. But others, they have fixed compositional melodies. So those are always other types. But my focus was mainly on the folk ones, where it has been, we don't know who has created it, so it has been passed from generation to generation. And it's interesting because you will see when we sing and when we look at the lyrics, there are some like metaphors that have been like used widely in like different regions of Armenia. So let's say the western historical Armenian regions, but also the eastern part. So when we see that those types of like metaphors and comparison have been, you know, transcribed in different lullabies from different regions, it means that those are coming from very ancient times, and those are, you know, praise. How do we say that? Govasang.
Praise, yeah.
Praised or highly regarded.
Maybe.
Sorry?
Ode.
Yeah, but words that have been first said to like a kid, you know, and then afterwards it has been included, or those words entered the world of musical pieces like lullabies. So in terms of the content of what does lullaby say, it's a praise to the child, right? It's his or her beauty, the surrounding, the nature surrounding his or her world, the sky, the, you know, the moon, the stars, the, you know, those are the content of what the lyrics have. And you will see that since those are from different regions of Armenia, the word lullaby has a lot of like dialects. In the different dialects it has been used differently. So in Armenian it's like the literal word for lullaby is Orår. Orår. So see, it's like two syllables and it repeats. And the root, the root word of Orår is or. Or it means day, but also movement. And for this case, it's the movement, because movement in terms of like the music, like the rhythm, but also the movement of, you know, lulling a baby to sleep. So Orår, for example, in the region of Van, the or like changed to ur, so it's urur. So ururi, then they took out the ur and they left just ruri, and then the name of this very good publication is Ruri. So it's a dialectical kind of word for the same word, lullaby. Then they kept the rur and they added like heyrur. So the first song that we will sing, it's heyrur, heyrur. So again, it's like an exclamation or heyrur, you know. Then there is the word neni as well. So you will see those are the words that are used, and it's always repeated. And then they say like one sentence like, you are small but you will become stronger, or the stars will be your best friends, the sun will be your, you know. So it's the entire, the mother or the father singing, or the aunt or the grandfather or grandmother who sang, they were like presenting the entire kind of universe to the child when they wanted them to sleep. And it's interesting because when ethnomusicologists kind of categorized those songs, they are like different, but the categories are not like boxes, right? Because folklore is borderless, so there are no borders. But there are a couple of categories like lyrical songs, work songs, you know, children's songs, etc., etc. And for some ethnomusicologists, lullabies fall into the children kind of genre, right? Because it's a piece sung for a child, right? But for example, for Komitas, in his like articles, when he puts like different categories, he says that these fall into the category of work songs, because, you know, you're working, right? Sometimes in those folk lullabies we also find, and there is an example here, that the mother or whoever was singing was doing a couple of jobs, right, at the same time.
Yeah.
So putting the baby to sleep, but also in Armenia they used to make the butter, the khanotsi, the, how do we call it in Armenian?
The churn.
Yeah, the churn, yeah. So half of the song is about like churning, yeah, and the other part is about the kids, and it's a beautiful piece. You will see how the melody and the rhythm changes, and then the lyrics as well. So it's very interesting to analyze those lullabies, because you can take out a lot of information, both, I mean, music-wise, language-wise, but also like historical elements. Some of the pieces that have been, let's say, written during the genocide, there are some lullabies that kind of address the issue of the genocide, or the father going to exile and then, you know, coming back, etc., etc. And then there are some geographical information in terms of like the villages, the cities. So there is a lot of rich content in like those very short pieces of music. And unfortunately, not all of the lullabies transcribed have the notations. I don't know how it is like in England or in France, but the ethnographers who started collecting songs, not everyone knew the notation system, right? Or had that capacity to transcribe right away. So we have a lot of publications with just the lyrics, which is again interesting because, I mean, we look at it in a like ethnographical, anthropological kind of perspective. Some have the musical notation. So, for example, here we have really good examples of pieces that have been transcribed with the music. Here again we have new ones. And then in Armenia, there are still a couple of informants who sing, in the villages, or who have, who are carrying the musical tradition from their ancestors. And those are just, again, orally transmitted. So there is a lot of work to do in terms of going today again and recording, transcribing folklore from those informants who still have in their memory some of the songs. And when I was doing such a lullaby singing workshop in Yerevan, I think it was the third or fourth time, we were doing it like every 2 months because everyone like really liked it. There was an Armenian from Syria and she was like 70 years old, who had moved to Yerevan during the war. And at the end of the workshop, she's like, it was beautiful, thank you, etc. And then I was like, do you by any chance remember any folk lullaby from your mother? I mean, she was from Syria, so it's interesting, you know, she could have heard something. And actually, yes. And right away, on the spot, she sang a song. I took my iPhone, I recorded it,
Oh, good.
and then...
You lost it.
No. And then, when I started, like, I met again with her, we had like a long interview, like more to, you know, write more information about that musical piece and the tradition she has. I recorded again, because it's important to record once or twice because the melodies kind of change a little bit. I didn't include it here, but it's a beautiful piece. So,
Is it still on your phone? Can you play it for us?
no, I deleted it. I put it. No, it was a heavy file. It was a heavy
It's
file.
on your hard drive now.
Yes,
Next
exactly.
time, next time.
Can you email it to us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good.
Yeah, sure. I published an article about this. So, you know, through the singing workshop, then let's say a scholarly article came out, and it's beautiful because it was like a live recording, live ethnographical fieldwork inside a museum during a workshop, you know. So that piece, I started like researching. I didn't find that melody at all. Oh no, sorry. I found the melody, but with a different variant. That an informant from Kesab sang to a woman who sings a lot of folklore in Yerevan. Her name is Hasmi Karuchunyan. And she sings that song, I mean the lyrics, but not the entire lyrical because it's very long, but with a very different music melody. The one that she sang, so I recorded the melody, I transcribed the lyrics, and when I started researching the lyrics, I found a journal in Constantinople in 1864 or something like this, where they had put the entire lyrics. And it was very long, like 2 pages long, and usually it's like 1 or 2
So the child
paragraphs.
did go to sleep at the end of that.
Exactly, and the child was speaking. I mean, he or she was not speaking, but the mother was giving voice to the child. So basically the lyrics, because here it's, you know, repetitive words, and the person putting to sleep the kid is singing, right? But in that piece, the mother and the kid were in dialogue. So the mother was saying something, and then she was singing whatever the kid wanted to say. So it was a dialogue, which is like very unique because usually it's not the case. So that's why, I mean, contemporary fieldwork is very important as well. And see, I mean, I recorded it in 2016 and I found that the lyrics had been written by someone. So it's, as I was telling you, those are orally transmitted, but some pieces have written kind of content which has been written by someone. We don't know the author. In the journal it was not written who was the author, but it was like a long piece. And then that text, that song traveled, I mean, to Kesab and then to Armenia, to Syria, you know, and the melody changed. So that's why lullabies are, you know, a beautiful kind of heritage that we have to research, we have to carry, and we have to transmit. So whatever piece you like, I mean, you can sing to your entourage and to yourself. So I put 7 or 8 pieces from different regions with different dialects. Yeah. And those were recorded by different ethnographers. I will tell you one by one.
So these are not collected by comitas, not all of them. It's from
I
all
didn't
over.
put one.
Like
I didn't put one from Komitas here. He has in his collection. He has around 7 or 8 lullabies, but like 4 of them or 5 of them are just like the melodies. It's just a fragment. And one is like just this. I mean, at that moment, I don't know where he was, but he recorded just this melody and this, like. Then he,
What did you say, 7 or 8?
yeah, 7 or 8, and then he has 2 or 3 variants of Oror Imbalas. Yeah, but that he collected, and then his pupil Barsar Kanachian composed a piece. But the melody is different, but they're beautiful pieces as well. Here I put other pieces, like very, very folk pieces. We have one, Heyrur Heyrur, and at the end I put the sources, so if you want to look at the sources, you can find them. If not, you can email me as well. I can send you, you know, whatever document you want. So the first one, Heyrur Heyrur, is a piece from Mush, the region of Mush. I also put the name of the informant, the native singer, Dalal Repuyan. The second one is a piece from Kesab, and it's Miran Minasyan, who collected this piece. He's an historian and philologist from Syria, so he collected that in Kesab. The third one, Orim Orim, is a beautiful piece from Partizak, and this is a piece collected by Mihran Tumajan, who was one of the 5 students of Komitas.
Yeah.
Remember, yesterday I told you. Then Dandan Dani, it's again, maybe some of you will know this melody, but with other words. It's a piece from Van, which was collected in Yerevan. Neni Bala is a piece from Garin, and it's Grigor Suni. You remember yesterday we sang a song from him, who collected this piece. So the Hadzum is a piece from Mush, and this one is like half churning and half lulling piece. And then the last one, Ruri, is a piece from Sasun. I think in this book there is the third one, Orim Orim, which is included. So we have new ones. If you have heard this CD here, we have new pieces as well. Okay, so maybe I can sing just one time so that you can hear the melody. The text is very simple. We kind of repeat the word Heyrur, Heyrur, Heyrur. And then it says, Rurik enim dururenas, du pestikis shut zorenas. You are small, may you become strong soon. And then again, Heyrur, Heyrur, Heyrur. I rock you, I rock you, I rock you. So the melody is like this. Heyrur, 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 slowly. Usually, yeah, the melody like goes up and then it comes down and it repeats. So yeah, we can maybe try the first. How do we call that? The
Triplets?
it's 4 lines.
Verse.
The verse. So we can try the verse one time and then repeat it and then go to the other ones, right? Okay. Hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey nim garkanotsi hey ru hey nim orori hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru. One more time. Hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey nim garkanotsi hey ru hey nim orori hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru. So we can go to the second verse.
Is it okay if I could record for myself?
Of
just
course.
To remember and practice. as
Sure.
well?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, here it says that we can repeat the last two verses, but I guess maybe we can just sing.
Ինձ համար զարմանալին այն է, որ առանց մուզիկալ ինստրումենտի ինչպես կարող ես ճիշտ տեղից սկսես։ Իմ ականջս 2 օկտավ վրև է լսում։ Այսինքն նախանձելի է էսի։
Okay, let's go. So from the start to the third, okay? Hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru hey nim garkanotsi hey ru hey nim orori hey ru 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 ruri kerim dururenas dumestiki shutzorenas hey ru 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 hey nim impestiki hey ru hey nim orori hey ru hey ru hey ru hey ru.
Can I fall asleep?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
That's only the
Kids
first one.
falling asleep during the workshop?
Yeah, it happened. It
Yeah.
happened.
And now you said Heirur is the movement basically, right?
Oh, it comes from the word oror.
Or yeah.
Yeah, urur and then heirur.
Yeah. And Rurik Enim, as you can.
I rock you.
I rock
I
you.
Orurik
And-
enim, Oror
And Rurenal
Dururena dukanes.
Dukanas.
Yeah. Okay, so the second one, Neni, is like a piece from Kesa. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course, it's a beautiful piece as well. So again, it says it's just repeating rockabye, rockabye, sleep, sleep, my child. So the melody is like this. Orororor, neni, neni, neni. Orororor, neni, neni, neni. Oror yavrum, orororor, ah yavrum dom. Oror yavrum, orororor, ah yavrum dom. See, it's different than the Eirud, right? Okay, so here we can repeat a couple of times. I mean, how it's written, we can sing it like this. So, orororor, neni, neni. Orororor, neni, neni, neni. Again. Orororor, neni, neni, neni. Oror yavrum, orororor, ah yavrum dom. Oror yavrum, orororor, ah yavrum dom. Neni ginim, neni yavrum, neni. Again. Neni ginim, neni yavrum, neni. Oror yavrum, oror ginim, ororor. Oror yavrum, oror ginim, ororor. Neni ginim, neni yavrum, neni. Neni ginim, neni yavrum, neni. Orororor, oror ginim, yavrikis. Orororor, oror ginim, yavrikis. Nice piece? Ornaments that are added or removed. So here it says, I rock you, I hung up a cradle hammock. The holy angels I will post as guardians, my soul. I rock you, your cradle is of gold, your cradle is of gold, its canopy of silver, my soul. I rock you, my days for your days, my days for your days, my eyes for your eyes, my soul. So the melody is a bit different. It has a couple of like ornaments, but it's easy to sing. So, orim orim orim, ororot stenim, sur kreshtak nernar, papandanim, janikas. And then wait 20 seconds.
They're not easy. This is not easy. You must have that like really talented, I think, musical. You have to be musical.
But a native
but they-
person
exactly,
from
that time.
historical Armenia
Yeah,
created
yeah.
or
It's amazing.
sang it. Yeah. So that's why I mean everyone can sing. It's not all right. So I will repeat just maybe the first phrase again, and then we can sing together. Orim orim orim. It's fine. I mean not to do the small ornaments. Just let's move with the melody. So let's start together. Orim orim orim, ororos stenim, and verse.
Orim, 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 Orår mot støni, Sort prestagnerna,
Very good, second stroke.
Very, very romantic.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oran in modern Armenian is spelled double R, no? Because I think it is Ororan that was becoming.
Yeah, yeah. But again, I haven't
Yeah, you
touched
kept
the
it.
orthography,
Yeah,
so
I'm
it's,
just
you know.
wondering.
Yeah.
Which region this song was? This Orori?
It's
Orori.
it's Van, yeah,
Van.
here, Van Vaspurakan.
Mm.
So Dan Dan, this one is a bit, it has more
Energy.
energy. And some of you maybe might know a variant. It's not Dan Dan, it's Tapik Tapik, but here the words are like this. So swing, swing, swing until you sleep. The poor child doesn't want a lullaby, the heart has to bear. Swing, swing, you are like a red apple, your hands are like white snow. They want a golden ring. Swing, swing, you are like a red apple, my sweetest child is falling asleep. Yeah, at the end. So the melody is like this. Dan dan dani dan dana, dan dan min chev kenana, oror chuzel cheshmano, siti mordi
More
mana,
familiar.
oror chuzel cheshmano, siti mordi mana. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
ասիկա բանին համար գաշխատեր վերջինի երկու բանաց հաչողելու
Oh, of course. But the street piti or dimana, they're talking about themselves, right? So they have to bear, like, keep singing because the child doesn't want to fall asleep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So dan dan. Let's go. Dan dan dani dan dana, dan dan min chev kenana, oror chuzel cheshmanu, sipiti vordi mana. Repeat. Oror chuzel cheshmanu, sipiti vordi mana. Dan dan dani dan dani, karmir khazor namani, ziuni jel maktatikne, kuzen voske matani, ziuni jel maktatikne, kuzen voske matani. Dan dan dani dan dani, karmir khazor namani, imanushik baliki, kuna arten katani,
Manushik Padiki Kunamaten Gatani.
Very playful.
So again, there are a couple of, as I told you, sometimes the text has been kept, the melody has changed. Sometimes the melody has been kept and then kept. I mean, you know, sung and then another text has been used. So that's why I was yesterday telling that, you know, folklore travels. It's not the song because, you know, it's improvisation. It's something alive, and you're like things. You. She's sleeping. So yeah. So yeah. So there is this kind of problematic kind of topic in ethnography and ethnomusicology because when you fix, you kind of kill that
variety.
not the variety. No, you record the variety,
Okay.
but you kind of kill the live process of creation, right? Because I mean, I'm not sure that the last, for example, verse, you know, finished just the same way as like the first. I mean, you know, folk songs are like pure improvisation. So sometimes the singer, whoever, it depends on the singer as well. But you know, sometimes they could have ended in another way, you know, or repeated twice or three times or four times. You know, it depends on the moment and who she or he is singing to. So
If they're falling asleep or not.
or not, yeah. So it's something alive that through the work of the ethnographers we have it now. So it's rich. It's an heritage that has been preserved, but there is this kind of dilemma for the ethnographer as a professional because he knows that he's by preserving, he's just fixing it, and the essence of folklore, which is like oral, is turning into like something written. So from oral to written, you know. So that's why for me it was important to bring it through those kind of workshops to bring it back to the life and to oral traditions. So feel free to, you know, change a bit the rhythm or the, you know, the words, and I mean just make it yours. Those are just examples.
Mary, do you know if this version came definitely before it's optic?
I don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
you don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know the famous the thing you showed yesterday, Gomidas hiding behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote all the tunes down over a day at the village, and in the evening he insisted on singing all the songs back.
Yeah.
And
To make sure I
asking-
got it right?
Yes, he said, and before he did it, they said, but Vartabet, doctor, why are you wasting your time with villagers like us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you have more important things to do?
Exactly.
And he sang them back, and they said, yeah, well, yes, but tomorrow we sing it differently.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
This is, he records
He
this.
was as a festival or a feast during the Vartavar in July in a village near the monastery where like the festival was taking place, and he recorded, and he has like a diary, but it became an article about how a folk dance is being created, and it's which one was it? I will come back, but he writes like the leader is is first of all doing the steps, you know, to put the rhythm. Then he shouts like a phrase, and then the others repeat with the steps, and then he gives like a verse, and then someone else in that circle is responding. I mean, it's conversation, right? You remember that? I mean, during like in Magnik as well with Vahan and all the kids, we were like playing like this. So the leader improvises, says something, and then someone else responds. I mean, and it changes. And Kominas is recording like how the song is evolving, and then he's like, oh, but the melody and the rhythm changed, and then change. And at the end, he goes to those guys and he says, could you please sing again? You know, imagine the priest. Could you please sing again this verse, and they sing. I don't remember exactly, but they sing it the way they sung at the end, and not like the first time, first at the beginning. And he's like, no, but during the dance you sang it this way, and he's like, yeah, but we don't like it. I don't love a chin. He says something like this, you know. So for them it was like, really, what are you doing? I mean, we're just having fun, and you're transcribing. So there is this dilemma for, and it's a universal kind of thing for
Well, you found this in
anthropology.
Yes, I was doing field work
Yeah.
in Kasab, and I was told, you must go listen to this person. And so I went and I said, could you please sing this song for me? No. This is a conversation. This is what we call like, goodness, now it's dropped on my, but anyway, it's it has to be back and forth.
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
So back
Call,
and
call and
forth.
response.
Yeah,
Call and
exactly.
response. Not a call and response. It's more of a duel.
Yes, a
Or,
duel.
a
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's a word game with
Yeah.
the other people. It's like a duel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, okay, like, here, could you sing it with Lucine? And he'd go, oh no, she's not good enough,
Yeah.
It's like, no, I need somebody good as I am in order to make it really good.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. He wouldn't sing it.
Yeah. All right, so Neni Bala, it's a very nice piece as well, recorded by Korsuni. So the melody changes as well, you'll see, because the content changes. First it goes like this, and then we repeat. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zaku, Neni, Neni Oro. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zaku, Neni, Neni Oro. Alior Maren Keseneng, Grakwareng Luseneng, Shanlakotin Luseneng, Bala Neni, Neni Oro. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Neni Bala, Neni, Neni, Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Right? And then the second verse is Sarer Zorer Zunguka, Bach Bach Hover Tunguka, Im Garnukis Kunguka, Bala, Neni, Neni Oro. Right? Okay, so we can sing together. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Adiur Maren Keseneng, Grakwareng Luseneng, Shalakotin Luseneng, Bala Neni, Neni Oro. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Now we return to Neni Bala at the beginning, and then Sarer Zorer, right? Okay. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Neni Bala, Neni, 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 Neni Zakuk, Neni, Neni Oro. Sarer Zorer Zunguka, Baba Hover Tunguka, Imkarnukis Kunguka, Bala Neni, Neni, Nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
See, you even see how the lifestyle was. You know what was happening at that moment. She was singing,
Yeah.
or he was
Very
singing.
vivid, yeah.
But this might have started with someone, like one, maybe
Of
one
course.
person. You
Yeah,
know,
but we
maybe.
don't know who
Yeah,
he is or
it's
she is.
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Alright, this one is a beautiful piece. Radzotum. So this is, you know, working and planning to sleep. You will see a difference. Nanjilao kaminela vui Nanjilao bukorane vui. So she finished her Nanji and then Hazatum, Hazatum, Shalkim Sare Rolertum, Horkuri Gachatum, Morkuri Gachatum. And then she continues Nanji Lao. Can you imagine? Like she's just doing both things. Okay, so let's start. Again, it has a lot of ornaments, but we'll just sing whatever we can. Let's do maybe 2 times Nanjir Lao, okay? So you get familiar with the melody. Nanjir Lao Kaminela Nanjila Bukorane One more time. Nanjila Kaminela Nanjila Bukorane Hazetum Shalkim Sare Rolertum Orkuni Gachatum Morkuni Gachatum Nanjilao Kaminela Nanjilao Bukorane Hazetum Hazetum Shalkim Sare Rolertum Amoni Gachatum Mamoni Gakatum.
Why do you think she's not going to show the baby to the ants?
I don't know. So who was the singer? It's interesting. It's not the mother, right? Because Mamonika, the mother, will come and I'll show. But who was the singer?
The nanny.
Yeah.
The sister, maybe. Or, yeah.
What is Hazetum?
And the cell, it's the church.
church.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's Ruri. It's a beautiful piece too. It has different variants. It has been recorded in different places, and this one is one that I like as well. So the lyrics again: I rock you, rockabye, rockabye. I rock you, may you become stronger. You are small, may you grow in goodness. The south wind will rock you, rockabye, rockabye. God on high, red sun will send you a breeze. So the melody is repetitive. You'll see. Ruri genim kanotsin ruri 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 lao ruri 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 lao, and then we repeat ruri 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 lao. Yeah. So this can be, let's say, presented as like a chorus. Not a chorus, but yeah, we can sing twice every time. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Ruri genim gerkanotsin ruri 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 lao ruri 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 lao ruri 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 lao Ruri genim du zorenas Du bestikis baromesnas Ruri genim Ruri 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 lao Ruri 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 ruri
Anybody want a pillow?
So those were just the songs that I had chosen. Which one was more, I don't know, familiar to you, or that you?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, but besides that,
And this one.
the
This
Rudy?
one?
Yeah, this last one that we just
That one
did.
is very memorable. I think we just
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's
so
very
much.
Repetitive, yeah.
Yeah,
We can
Would you
hear
like
the
to-
choir now.
yeah. Would you like to repeat the one that you preferred? Just the last time, do you have time, or it's,
We can sing one more.
yeah? Which
And
one
what-
would you
what,
like
we're gonna vote
to,
for the favorite?
which one would you like to repeat?
Can you do like a...
the happy one.
Yeah,
Down, down, from one.
No, now you know it, no. The first one was Heru, Heru, Rehu. The second one is Ororor, Neni, Neni, Neni. The third one is Mori, Mori, Mori. The fourth one, okay, no.
I like the happy one.
Neni, Bala, Neni,
Yeah,
Neni.
the one before the
And Rudy. So tell me, which one?
The second one. The Neni Neni.
Neni Bala? What about you?
Oh, the one.
I like Orim.
Orim? Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, two. So Orim and Neni Bala,
No, Oror, the second one.
the second one, the Kesab. Yes, we have some
and then only
true
one.
Kesabs. Is
Yeah.
Ororor, Neni, Neni, Neni. Ororor, Neni, Neni, Neni. Oror, Yavre. They must have slept very well. All right, Ori Morin is really beautiful. So. Mori mori mori